11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think the winner won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
And thanks to those joining me live and those that will be joining me on the archive, D-Style here. If you're watching on the archive, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every time D-Style comes on live. Let's talk some boxing. Topic today, Paulie Malignaggi. He's talking about Jai Opetaia, who is that guy that doesn't know any better, right? So I did a whole Twitter post. I was going to talk about it, but friend of the channel, Ring IQ, did a segment on it. We'll play on it, and I'll just react to it because he kind of did my job for me. So we'll just do that. Makes I could just sit back, relax, and play it, and then I'll commentate on it. And then also, but first, before anything, there's some context that I want to play for you guys, right? Right now, as you know, Zuffa Boxing is involved in the boxing space. They are now, they have a deal with Paramount, a deal I'm sure, what they got through TKO, who owns UFC, owns WWE. There's an apparatus behind it. Everybody was laughing at I don't know why people are like, who do these boxing people think they are to be laughing at the fighters that they're signing, calling it a joke, and so much for all the people that lecture everybody about, oh, you guys shouldn't be worried about that stuff. You should support the sport of boxing, support these fighters and this and that. But you don't want to support shit, right? You want to support your stupid ass, right, beliefs, okay, and your status quo is what you want to believe. Okay, you want to defend your precious status quo. I say fuck the status quo. There are so many evils in the sport of boxing, evils in the business of boxing. You guys religiously defend. You defend it religiously. And when I say you guys, I don't mean anybody in particular. If you're watching this, don't feel like, hey, well, why is he attacking me? I'm just listening to a show. I don't mean you if you're listening. I just mean anyone who feels that way, who defends the status quo, who believes the dumb shit you're told. Like, you think everybody gets paid like Mayweather. Everybody gets paid like Pacquiao and Canelo, and obviously the Riyadh season kicked off, and a lot of fighters made a lot of millions, and I'm happy for them. I'm glad fighters made their bag. I'm glad. But there seems to be this belief from all these fans around the world, especially in America, especially, that's just a norm. That's what fighters should be making, right? And the reality is that the Saudis are subsidizing much of this money. That's just the reality of it. They've been operating show after show in the red. In fact, you guys know it. That's why you do commentary. You say things like the Saudis don't care about losing money, right? So you know what I'm saying is true. Turkey has said it. So now Turkey and the Saudis, they're investing with TKO and Zuffa Boxing. It looks to me like they want a model that is long-term sustainable, because it's not sustainable to be making it rain. That's not a sustainable model that will last forever. It just isn't. So, oh, but the Saudis don't care about losing money. Look, the fact that even that phrase is even coming out, that sentence is coming out of people's mouths to let you know, don't the red flags go off? Don't you understand that that's not sustainable? But with that said, let's get back on track here. All right? Before I digress, and I want to play this interview that Jai Opetaia had, right? And this is, of course, Mark Burris. I think that's how you pronounce it. A good interview. Go check it out. Support his content. Look at that boom and hit the like button. And make sure you guys do all that good stuff. At the 32-minute mark, Jai says this.
I think I was like 20, maybe even 20 and 0. You know what I mean? What am I, 27 and 0? What's that? I don't even know my own record. Maybe 27, 26. But I honestly think I was 19 and 0 before I got my first paycheck.
Yeah. Did you hear that? Did you not like just, I want you put that in context for me. All right? Put that in context for me. You heard what he said. You're 19 and 0, and that's what he believes. Might have been 20 and 0. But you get the point that Jai Opetaia got his first paycheck. Now, I don't want to play this full interview because it's not my content, and I don't want to get copyrighted, but I don't know how strict that dude is with his content. She has every right to be, so I don't want to be whatever, but you guys get my point, don't you? I think you get exactly what I'm saying. Right? I mean, 19 and 0, and he hadn't gotten his first paycheck yet? This is the business that you guys are defending. What kind of disgusting business? And I get, if you look at the interview, Jai looks at it as a positive. Oh, yeah, I had to really build up my name and help sell tickets. But, once they all made their money, I didn't have a lot left. Like it's all good. It's whatever. But my point is, this is the model you guys are defending. This is a very standard practice. And I know people. I know many of you probably don't think I do, but believe me, I hear things through the grapevine. I know a lot of people in the boxing industry. And I hear some horror stories. And I've already known about this, about it's not just Jai, by the way. All right? Many fighters that are broke, are working full-time jobs. They're waiting for calls. They are tirelessly in the gym. They're putting all the miles, all the work while working full-time jobs, and then sometimes they need to pay to get on these cards. They need to pay. They need to sell so many tickets in order to, get paid. We've had Olympians going to Twitter asking people if they could find an opponent for them. Oh, a promoter put me on the card, but I need to find my opponent. This is the thing that many fighters deal with. So many fighters on the shelves for a whole year, right? These promoters, they'll sign them, right? They'll sign these fighters, and then if they can't find anything for their fighter, if no bigger promoter or bigger outlet offers anything, they will keep them shelved. Even if the fighter wants to, they won't let them fight anybody else. They're not going to spend the money on them. It's an ugly world out here. It's an ugly world, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Opetaia went 19 and 0 without getting a paycheck. And you know what a lot of these assholes do, right? Like, I heard of a story of a manager, right, that wanted one of his fighters to pay his opponent and for him to make no money. And when the manager was questioned about it, well, what do you mean? Like, we're not going to get paid. Not only am I not going to get paid, I got to pay my opponent. The comeback was, Jai Opetaia didn't get paid for the first 19 fights. Jai Opetaia had to earn his stripes at some point. bullshit. This is the bullshit that many and most fighters deal with. You guys think everybody's Mayweather, or everybody's Canelo, and everybody's the fighters on the Riyadh cards. That's not the way it works, right? And by its very nature, the way when you just look at things, right? Even when you look at the budgets that they're given, right? There's only so much money that the networks have, right? So every time a fighter, gets his bag, while I'm happy for them for getting their bag, right? When it's a bag that has no rationale behind it, when you can't really justify it when you crunch in the numbers, or you can't say, well, he's making that because look at the pay-per-views he's selling, or look at the ratings he gets, or look at the gate, look at the people that showed up. And if you can't justify it that way, by its very nature, you are in the red with that fighter. And when that happens, you're taking money from everybody else, because money is finite and so are budgets. And if the budget's X amount, you have taken away a certain percentage that you're not making up for. So therefore, less fighters get opportunities, less fighters get their shot, to make their bag. This whole sport and the business that it's running, it's actually at the detriment of most fighters, right? And to the benefit of a very few amount of fighters. A very select few benefit from its current model. That is just the hard, cold truth. And Zuffa comes in, and everybody just saying things like, oh, Zuffa, they're coming. They're pointing at Zuffa like they're the villain. Oh, Dana White, he screws over his fighter. You know what's never happened? Ever? UFC fighters never fought 17 times and got no paycheck. That never happened. Ever. You know what's never happened? In the history of the UFC, you have to pay your opponent. You do it. That's never happened. But you want to love this current model, right? The model where Oscar De La Hoya and all these promoters openly tell you, we don't want to put the best versus the best, especially early. We need to build up these fighters, and it takes years to do it. So we're not going to create a law of the jungle hierarchy system where, hey, all the prospects fight each other, all the contenders fight each other, and then the best of the best will come out of that crop, right? That's not what they want. And because that's not what they want, and what do you think happens to guys that they know? Because these are boxing people. They can look at a fighter that doesn't sell tickets, isn't well known, but they know that dude's going to beat my guy. We're going to keep them away from him. And you know what happens to those guys? They wait by the phone and they never get their opportunities. That's what happens to those guys. All right? And if they do get their opportunity, they're the B-side. They don't control the timing. They get offers in short term. Like whatever the case is. That's what happens. This is a broken system that everybody's defending. Jai literally went 19-0 without getting a paycheck. And no one ever made a fuss about it. No, nobody, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, but Zuffa's coming in with a network deal, with exposure. I think Paramount has like 80 million subscribers or something like that. The eyeballs are going to be on Jai Opetaia now, are going to dwarf whatever they're going to get on the zone, because it has like 10 times or whatever the amount of subscribers, plus an apparatus behind it. But what's your reaction? Oh my God, I can't believe he signed with Zuffa. They screw over fighters. Like, well, what the fuck do you think happened to Jai for his first 17 fights? Where the fuck were you when that happened? Where the fuck were you? I forget the name of the fighter, the one guy that Matchroom needed last minute as a replacement to fight Cambozas, right? And Eddie was like, I can't believe what they paid that, what No Limit was paying that dude, right? You guys think all these guys are making bank and shit. You think these dudes are walking around making all sorts of money. They're making like 400 a round, bro. All over the fucking country and all over the fucking world, and they're lucky. Most fighters. Okay, but you're over here scoffing and, oh my God, I can't believe Zuffa's going to come in and screw over the fighters. Well, what I could guarantee you right now is that no fighter that signed with Zuffa is going to go 17 straight fights without a paycheck. They're going to have a guaranteed paydays. You could agree or disagree with the amounts, but that's what they're going to get. And for 99% of fighters around the world, that's a sweet deal. I could tell you that right now, especially if you're under contract, especially, right, if you could collect a check and it's guaranteed and you don't have to deal with the bureaucracy and the bullshit that is the boxing business. Do you understand? So let's watch this. Once again, shout out to Ring IQ. I know he won't copyright me, so I could play this one a little longer. Check out the full video, of course, right? And by the way, Nayeli Rodriguez La Bikina. I actually want to bring her on to interview and stuff, but she's got a future, man. I'm telling you guys right now, right? She just had a close fight with a veteran, and she's going to do some things. She's going to do the thing. You know what I mean? So let's talk about this right now, right? We're not gonna talk about Zurdo and y'all's favorite dude over here and anything like that, but we're gonna, do what we gotta do. You know what I mean? But look, let me fix it. Hold on. What's going on right now? I had this shit fixed, bro. I guess that will have to do, right? Let me fix it a little. Okay, give me a second, guys. I don't know why this shit's acting this way, bro. What's going on? I guess it's going to have to stay like that. It is what it is anyway. Guys. No, hold on. This cannot be the only way, bro. Like, why is it doing this? Like, what's... I apologize, but I'm trying to... Yeah, I don't know. I know you guys don't know what I'm even talking about probably, but it's just something on my end. So let's go ahead and... look, I haven't. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I did, but they're all hypocrites. Look, and I'm going to go in on the dudes on right now, man. I don't give a fuck if they're former fighters. They're hypocrites, bro. All right? So we're going to go in on them, but let's watch this. And because it has it all kind of, it's already in there. You know what I mean? So let's give it a look.
What if DAZN doesn't re-up with Golden Boy? What happens to the Benavidez versus Zurdo fight? Because I was under the impression they were the ones that were going to promote it.
I don't know.
By the way, no network deal with Golden Boy. None. And good luck. Good luck. Right? With no network deal, does any fighter really want to sign with a dude that dresses in drag and brags about it on the internet? I don't know. But just something to think about. Okay? And when you look at those persons, they are a bunch of hypocrites, bro. So it is what it is.
See, guys, had I not been in Australia last week, I wouldn't have this opinion. You see, like,
Please.
I would have been just as shocked as you if I had not been in Australia. You know what's crazy about the fact that I was in Australia?
I'm actually not surprised by it.
No, not knowing what I know, I'm not surprised by it. I would have been surprised had I not known what I know.
Right. By the way, context, keep in mind that Paulie Malignaggi has an axe to grind with just with Dana White, and he's always had an axe to grind with him, right? So just to keep that in mind. He didn't like how the Conor McGregor sparring session was handled, and they kind of humiliated him a little bit, and he's still butthurt about it till this day. Look, I'm in the belief that Paulie probably did some good work on Conor in that sparring session, but they're never going to release that. But it's his fault for putting himself in that position anyway. I mean, it is what it is. But with that said, he has an axe to grind. It's obvious. And when Paulie has an axe to grind with somebody, it shows. He's so biased, bro. Like, it's unbelievable, right? And it affects his commentary. It just does. So let's keep it going.
I was told by several people in Australia all last week, like, Opetaia's crazy. Like, he fights for, like...
By the way, isn't it just like a random thing? Like, so you're telling me that you go to Australia and just people just walk up to you and just start talking shit about Jai? Like, who are these people? Like, who are these assholes, like, talking shit about Jai to you? You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, man, they came up to me, man. They were telling me that Jai doesn't get paid. What a random thing to just bring up to Paulie Malignaggi, right? Like, well, isn't it just random? Like, so people just walked up to you and were just talking about what Jai makes? Oh, Jai, like, don't they have their own shit to worry about? Who are these people that are talking about Jai Opetaia and what he makes? And like, talk about pocket watchers. I mean, holy shit. And Paulie's, he's just there with his ears perked out. Oh, really? He only makes what? I can't believe. Like, isn't that just like a random thing that people would just randomly bring that up to him?
But
not knowing what I know, I'm not surprised by it. I would have been surprised had I not known what I know.
Right.
I was told by several people in Australia all last week, like, Opetaia's crazy. Like, he fights for, like, 150 grand a fight. Like, he just doesn't know any better. Like, he's got like these management and whatever. And I don't know if management.
Who are these people, by the way? Like who? I just want to know, who are these people that were like, oh yeah, Jai, man, just randomly bringing up Jai, right? Okay. I mean, was it No Limit people? Because I know some of the bullshit persons, No Limits paid out. So you tell me.
Management is actually taking his money, or if this is just what he's getting, all this other stuff. And they were like, he's just like kind of a happy-go-lucky guy. He likes to fight and just like, wow. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I would have thought, like, you know,
yeah,
I would have been make him a lot more. Or if he's not, he'd be complaining and vocal about it. But he's just like that kind of guy, you know? And, you know, some other things that were told to me.
What things, Paulie? Like, what other things were told to you? Why were y'all being a bunch of chismosos about Jai anyway, is what I want to know. Right? Like, honest to God, this wasn't even part of my idea in the commentary, but who are these people that were just randomly going up to Paulie Malignaggi, talking to Paulie Malignaggi about the money Jai makes, and then they told you other things? What things? Like, what y'all gossiping about a fucking grown man? What type of grown men in the boxing world are gossiping about Jai Opetaia? Oh man, hey, did he know he only makes 150 a fight? Yeah, he's just a go-lucky guy. He just one of those guys. You know what I mean? Oh man, really? Oh, and you know what else? And then Paulie doesn't want to tell us what that juicy part of the story is, right? He doesn't want to tell us. He's so giddy about it. Like, oh man, and I heard some other things. What things? Like, why were y'all even doing, like, talking about Jai in an event that didn't have Jai in it? Like, we're talking about a No Limit card headlined by Michael Zarafa and Nikita Zoo, right? Which was a big pay-per-view in Australia, and plenty of fighters to talk about on that card. But you were talking about Jai Opetaia? Like, I mean, and you were gossiping about him, about what he makes, and I heard some other things. And I'm talking about it on this Boxing Scene podcast and just letting everybody know that we're totally gossiping about Jai Opetaia. This is nuts, bro.
But in the grand scheme of things, then the Zuffa thing comes out, and if they signed him. Of course they signed him. I mean, even by normal standards, the Zuffa contract to him looks like real money, even though for a guy like him, it shouldn't be real money. It should be something he laughs at. But, yeah, so it's not that big of a coup to grab Opetaia once I found out what I found out. Because then I find out that, coincidentally,
Right, it's a coincidence. Were you coincidentally gossiping about the dude in Australia? By the way, do you need to be in the year, shout out to Mr. T, by the way, Dan and Drew, all you dudes, right? like in the year, I went like 2026. Do you need to go to Australia to hear gossip about other fighters? Like fighters in Australia? Like, do your feet need to be in the ground of Australia? Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? I don't want, this is nuts. All right? I want to know what the other things that they were telling you about Jai, bro. Like, what's going on? Like if I was Jai Opetaia, I'd be looking under my bed right now. You got some dudes like that's stalking you, and then they're like going to random people like Paulie Malignaggi talking about you, about your business like this, right? The Paulie Malignaggi, when he heard this, right? When people were gossiping about Jai Opetaia, right? Did he contact Jai Opetaia? Hey man, all these dudes are talking shit about you, bro. Did you do that, Paulie? Well, why don't you contact Jai yourself and be like, hey, man, look, I just want to let you know, man, I was working this thing for No Limit and Main Event over there, man. All this dude and this dude, they were coming up to me talking about what you make. They were talking about your business, bro. Like, they told me some other shit. And I don't want to be that type of dude that, like, takes that information and takes it to my podcast, Unboxing Scene. So I just want you to let you know about that, man. I wouldn't even talk to those people, right? Did you do that? No, right? Obviously. I mean, but he coincidentally, oh yeah, of course, now it makes sense why he signed with Zuffa, right? Right? Now it makes sense, he says.
You have this announcement that these guys signed him. No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, they're gonna, of course, that's an easy one to pick up. And
by the way, I liked when Paulie said 150,000, and then like, was that Algeria? Oh man, oh like they're doing this whole like we're gonna mock the dude because they made 150,000 a fight. Oh man, I do declare he only made 150,000. Is that what y'all were doing too? When we were talking shit about Jai Opetaia and the money he makes? Is that what you were doing? Were you drinking champagne while you did it? What's the other things you heard? Oh, I heard. Oh, let me tell you what I heard. Oh, several people came up to me. By the way, several people. Like, how many people were eager to talk to you about Jai Opetaia's finances? This is some weird ass shit, bro. Several? Like, what's going on right now? Either this was a group of people that came to you and said this, or individual people were walking up to you and just being like, hey, Paulie, did you know that Jai only makes 150,000 a fight? He's just a go-lucky guy, and he just doesn't care. Can you believe it? Like, I just don't. Like, what's going on here?
it looks like a bigger deal than it actually is. But when you look between the numbers, like, you know what? You know, it's a good look for Opetaia compared to what he was making. But Opetaia should have been making a lot more money before already, you know, and he should have been laughing at this contract.
So we're going to let Ring IQ, I'm just going to sit back, relax, and we'll let Ring IQ just read what I said and then give the breakdown, and we'll talk about it.
Long and the short of it is Paulie Malignaggi heard Jai Opetaia doesn't make that much anyway, making it easy for Zuffa to pick him up. In effect, it's not that big a deal. To which veteran content creator and friend of the channel, D Styles, responded, like clockwork. Does Paulie know how much Jai is getting from Zuffa? No. Paulie talks about what fighters should be making without really explaining why. He talks like all these fighters should be making millions without breaking it down. All of a sudden he's realized this fighter from Australia is underpaid, right? Ask the fighters. All the guys are underpaid. Because he's just that type of guy and he heard stuff. Paulie won't criticize Matchroom and Tasman for what they've been paying. If Zuffa's offer works for him, what is it to Paulie? Not all fighters make millions. Paulie talks about it like making millions is a given. I agree with everything, literally everything D Styles said. If I take what Paulie Malignaggi claims to have heard at face value, which I don't, but for argument's sake, let's say that I do, why is Jai Opetaia supposed to make more? Based on what quantifiable metrics? You're claiming that he was underpaid at Matchroom and at Tasman. That's what you're saying. Why was he supposed to get more? Based on what?
He never said.
And that's if I even believe that he was underpaid, because I don't think he was. You're not going to convince me that Matchroom, who has no reputation of shorting fighters' money, was shorting Jai Opetaia. Jai Opetaia, who made not one, not two, but 3 separate Riyadh season appearances. And you want me to believe that he was underpaid by Matchroom and he was underpaid by Turkey.
What?
I don't know if I can believe that. What I can believe is that the people at Boxing Scene, which is owned by Gary Jonas of ProBox, have been taking shots at Zuffa. And this would seem another vehicle to continue to take shots at Zuffa.
Oh, and by the way, not to interrupt Rand Q in the middle of his speech there, but I don't know. Like I know some people that have had ProBox fighters on ProBox. All right? I know what ProBox pays, bro. So if I was like if you're gonna be talking shit about what fighters on Zuffa make, I would tread very carefully. All right? If you want to do hit pieces on Zuffa, then content creators like me are going to do hit pieces on ProBox. And while I appreciate what ProBox does, I appreciate the boxing, I appreciate it all, I would just tread very lightly because we're going to keep things fair. We're going to start with that energy. Then we're going to spread that energy around like a virus is what we're going to do. And we're going to be scoffing and 150,000. I do declare. Well, you think ProBox fighters on ProBox are making 150,000? To be scoffing at numbers 50,000, you paid 150,000. like what is this? I'm just telling you, well, what are we doing? I know a title fight with a champion made 10 grand, bro. So I don't want to hear it, bro. And I don't give a fuck about those things. Those fighters took the money. They gave us the fights. We'll keep them moving. But you're making it about this because your little squabble and your little axe to grind with Zuffa Boxing because Dana White's running it. So we'll keep it moving. All right? Let's keep it moving.
Zuffa, that even though they signed Jai Opetaia, they aren't paying him much. That's basically what Paulie is saying.
But how do you know what they're paying him? Because you talked to a guy who talked to a guy?
D Styles continued. So before Zuffa is even in the picture, Jai didn't get paid for his first dozen fights. He isn't making money with Tasman. He was promoted by Matchroom. This whole time guys like Paulie had nothing to say, but the moment Zuffa makes Jai an offer that he likes, better than Matchroom's, all of a sudden Paulie and boxing defenders of status quo care about Jai and what he should be making.
I think I understand what these Styles are saying. He's basically saying that the guys at ProBox have been some of the main ones talking about how Dana White underpays the UFC guys and now he's gonna underpay the boxers.
That's why he wants to change the Muhammad Ali Act.
But these same guys at ProBox are now saying that Jai Opetaia was already being underpaid, all without Zuffa. So if that's the case, shouldn't you have more to say about Tasman for underpaying him, and Turkey for underpaying him, and Matchroom for underpaying him, if he was in fact underpaid? Instead, you're still harping about Zuffa. Zuffa, who seems to have offered Jai more than the guys who were underpaying him. It's almost like you're trying to rationalize a way to keep talking down Zuffa.
Understand that the conversation we're now having exists in a very abstract space based on things that may not even be true. Maybe somebody told Paulie that Jai's being...
Maybe they told him. Right? Random dudes in Australia, because he's in Australia, walked up to Paulie Malignaggi and just started talking about the purses and the money and the business finances of Jai Opetaia. Did this, like, I'm expected to believe this. Several people, by the way, told you this. I mean,
being underpaid, but that doesn't make it true. And maybe Zuffa Boxing is going to put a cap on how much they pay these fighters, but that doesn't mean they're going to pay them peanuts.
Because they're being responsible with their budget and they're not hemorrhaging money to every self-entitled fighter?
Seems to be what the fighters expect. And naturally, a group of retired fighters think there's something wrong with that.
You say that you heard that Jai was underpaid. Well, what would you have paid him that would have made sense? The way I see it, we don't know that any of this is true. The only thing that seems true is whatever Zuffa offered Jai must have been more than he stood to make at Matchroom. Otherwise, he would have stayed at Matchroom.
So, shout out to Ring IQ. Look, the Zone didn't even have Jai Opetaia on in Let's Fight. Like, what is the boxing industry doing? Like, I'm hearing a lot of people, and shout out to the shoe shines, like, oh, so now Zuffa wants to unify, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. Whenever, if Zuffa's going to get criticized, whenever it's time to get criticized, right? But, like, it is what it is for me. But right now, it's like, what exactly is the boxing? Forget about the business side of the money of it for a second. What is boxing doing for Jai exactly? What is it doing? Right? He wins the IBF and then they strip him in a bullshit move, and then he has to win it back. Right? He wins it back, and then, I mean, he's not put in position to unify, even though he's clearly the best cruiserweight in the world. Like, this is the boxing business that you guys like to defend. Right? He's being clearly ducked by Zurdo Ramirez. David Benavidez, he's going to move up for this one fight and then move back down. It doesn't look anyway like he wants a piece of Jai, right? And we're over here expected to just believe, right? Zurdo says things that I don't even know who this dude is. I can't give him the time of day. And then a bunch of other dudes, all you guys do is shit on Jai. Oh, who's Jai? Nobody knows who he is, and this, that, and the third. But then you have all these opinions and all this criticism when he signs with Zuffa. They haven't even announced a fight. You don't even know what the fuck he's making, but you're already in his business, right? For years, all I heard were, don't be pocket watchers. Don't be pocket watching. What do you care what this guy is making? And even though there was context, right? I don't want guys to get overpaid because it takes from the budget, and we get less fights because of it. In the long run, it makes it, like, you know what I mean? Fighters feel entitled to become less active. And then we have situations where the fighters don't want to fight unless they're making millions and millions, right? It's difficult to make a Virgil fight with Boots because a manager's asking for an absorbent amount of money, and like, you know what I mean? Like, there's reasons for, as a fight fan, to not want, like, the purses to get out of control and pay dudes out of market value. I've always advocated for paying guys their market value. That's what I believe somebody should get paid. All right. Doesn't mean I hate it when someone gets their payday, right? But that's always been the market value argument. Has always been my argument. Always. For the last 10 years has been my argument. Pay guys their market value, right? That's always been my argument. Now, I don't know what Jai's getting paid by Zuffa. I have no idea. And quite frankly, as long as he gets put in position to unify or to fight relevant fights that I care about as a fight fan, I don't give a fuck who his promoter is. I don't care if the promoter is taking back their word about not caring about the sanctioned bodies. I don't give a shit. All I care about is that Jai Opetaia, right, is going to be on my TV screen. Why am I paying the DAZN subscription? What am I paying it for if they don't put Jai Opetaia on the app? We're going from Jai being on an obscure app that nobody knows about, no longer DAZN, to now he will be on Paramount Plus. That's an improvement. We're going from a Jai Opetaia who didn't get paid for his first 19 fights in this disgusting business model that many of you defend, right? But for whatever reason, now that he's, signing with them because he loved their deal better than what Matchroom was offering, You guys got a problem with it. And now you want a pocket watch. Now you can't stop looking at the pockets. What the fuck do you care what he's making if he's happy with it? What is it to you exactly? Especially if you didn't give a fuck when he was with Matchroom. Never once have I heard Paulie Malignaggi stand up for the fighters that get ripped off week in and week off and make peanuts, making $200 a round all like on the same pro box cards that he's calling. Never have I heard him be vocal and advocate for them. Ever. But now all of a sudden, okay, he wants to put on his his cape, that is. Okay, and he wants to put on his armor, white shining armor. He wants to be the defender of Jai Opetaia. He just doesn't know any better. He doesn't know that he's worth so much more. He doesn't break it down. He doesn't say, look, this is the gate numbers that Jai does. This is the pay-per-view numbers that Jai does. This is the money that he generates. He doesn't present any of that. None of that matters. All that matters is that the evil Zuffa. Ooh, Zuffa's here. Oh, no. Of course Jai took it, and he didn't want to say it, but he basically was trying to say that Jai is dumb, that Jai doesn't know any better, right? Jai is making six figures, if you believe Paulie, a fight. I think he's okay, right? If you expect me to believe that he was only making that on Riyadh season cards, then it's whatever, bro. It doesn't matter to me, right? But what I do know is that you don't know what he's making with Zuffa. It appears it's more than he was making with fucking Matchroom. And I never hear Paulie Malignaggi advocate for fighters with Matchroom fighting on cards, making just 60,000 or 100,000 or whatever it is they're making. I just don't see all the advocating for the fighters in Mexico that have to sell tickets to make money, fighters in Australia, okay, getting a short end of the stick with their paydays, fighters all over the world that, like, I don't hear any advocating for them. You're over here, all right, just worried about this one fighter from Australia, right, who's been fucked over by the boxing business, right? And now that he sees a deal that he likes, you're trying to tell him and all of us, oh no, he's making a mistake. You're supposed to be making more than that. Like all of a sudden you fucking care. All these weasels, right? If I'm expected to believe Paulie's story, there was a bunch of weasels, right? Going up to him, being, oh, did you know that he only makes this amount of money? Oh, yeah, did you know? He's just that type of guy. He just doesn't care. He's just dumb. He doesn't know that he could make more. He should be making a lot more, but he doesn't know any better. And maybe his manager's robbing him of the money. He just doesn't know it, or it just doesn't make any sense. Of course he's the one. Like really, these weasels. What a bunch of fucking weasels. I hope we find out who the dudes are that were talking randomly to Paulie Malignaggi about the business of Jai Opetaia. Like that, I'm looking forward to that. And all the fans that give a fuck about that, that's what you care about? Your concern should be, is Jai going to get some unifications? Your concern should be, is Jai going to get the opportunity to be in big fights? That should be your concern as a fight fan. That's what you should be covering. Not, oh, did you know? Somebody told me he only makes this and he only makes that. And fuck you. Bullshit. Like, just think about it for a second. Who are these people that walked up to him just like, and what's that line? Oh yeah, they told me some other stuff. Like what other stuff? Like what? Why are they even gossiping about Jai Opetaia? Just gossiping. Who on that no limit card was making 150 grand anyway? Like what are we doing besides the main event? Like just talking. Like what are we doing? Some of you just live in another world, bro. Like, it's the fighters on Riyadh making millions are an exception, and they're an exception, okay, because you have Turki Al-Sheikh forking up the money for it, right? That's what that is. And if you go back to the interview from the video I shared earlier, he talks about like the money coming in with Turki Al-Sheikh and how happy he was with that and all that. Like it's Jai's made his money, bro. In fact, I think he's doing just fine. All right. And if him and his team decided, you know what, we like this Zuffa deal, right? That's let him be happy with that, bro. Like if it works for him, it works for him. What the fuck is it to you? Like I just don't get it. Paulie's over here talking like the norm is Riyadh season. Oh, the fighter's supposed to be making as much. Like that's not the way it works, bro. How much was Chris Algieri making before he got an opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao? How much was he making? So, like, I just, to be scoffing, like, oh, you're only making that much. Like, what are we doing? Before Zuffa walked into the picture, he was getting shafted by the boxing business. Like 99% of fighters do. Shafted. And then you turn around and you act this way towards Zuffa for signing, like just say, you know what? That surprised me. I didn't think they would get a name like Jai Opetaia this soon. We thought they were just going to have a couple of maybe prospects, up and comers, like the B-level dudes or something like that. This kind of surprised me. Just be honest, and that's what it is. Oh, no, it's only because he doesn't know any better, and he thinks it's a good deal, even though you don't know what the deal is. You don't know what Macho was paying him before. You're like, you don't know, you don't break any of that down anyway. So that's my take. Shout out to Skywalker and everybody else here. All right. Shoe shine. Saludos, brother. Paulie and his, I was told by several people, the gold standard in modern sourcing, someone with an axe to grind. Absolutely, 100%. Oh, yeah, somebody who are these people? Who told you? Let's do the grow a pair of balls challenge, right? Will the people that said this to Paulie Malignaggi please stand up? Like, were you telling them because you were concerned about Jai Opetaia? Is that why? I mean, maybe going to Jai himself would have been better, but you wanted to go to Paulie Malignaggi. Let me tell you something that someone who's trying to help somebody doesn't do. They don't go to Paulie Malignaggi to spill some beans and gossip, right? And let me tell you what's not a good source. People that gossip, right? Anyone who will spill beans that fast is not a reliable source, all right? It just is what it is. If they're telling Paulie Malignaggi, right? I mean, obviously, I'm just saying. I'm out. Peace.